Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm George Connolly with Scratch Golf Tips, and today we're going to be talking about a great drill, a great visualization drill that you can do on the driving range, and this is going to help you work all different kinds of shot heights, shot shapes, and make you a more versatile player on the golf course. So what we're looking to do is make a 3x3 grid, basically a tic-tac-toe grid in our minds. And what we want to do is hit a golf shot or multiple golf shots that would fit the bill of all 9 of those spots. So starting on the bottom 3, that bottom left square, we want to hit a low fade. That bottom middle square, we want to hit a fairly low straight shot. And then that bottom right section, we're going to want to hit a low draw. Then mid, fade, straight, draw, high, fade, straight, draw. Now, this is a really great way to become more comfortable turning to all different types of golf shots on the course. The more comfortable you are being able to switch from a low fade on one hole and then a high draw on the next hole, the more you'll be able to react to different situations on the golf course. No matter the course, no matter how familiar you are with that course, you're always going to be faced with different golf shots. Sometimes you're going to be behind a tree, and the only way to get out is by hitting a low hooking ball to get back in the fairway, back on the green. Other times you're going to have a perfect lie in the fairway, and all you're going to want to do is hit a straight shot mid-trajectory right at the pin, green light. So this drill allows you to feel all of those different ball flights and trajectories. We're going for 9 different shot shapes. So by going through them all in repetition, you're going to become more comfortable, you're going to build muscle memory, and you're going to be more confident turning to these shots on the course. Now, personally, when I'm looking for low shots, there are a few things that I can do in order to get that low trajectory. The first that I like to do is put the ball about a ball or two back in the stance, just an inch or two back in your stance, and then maybe get a little bit of forward shaft lean on the club, meaning that if your hands are in the center of your chest, you want those hands to be brought a little bit forward to your left side for a right-handed golfer. And from there, have a little feeling of covering the ball. I like to feel a stronger right hand in order to get that club face to de-loft itself a little bit. Now, I find it easy on low shots to come pretty steep. That's why a low fade, that bottom left area of the 3x3 grid, is a fairly easy shot. The straight shot is a little bit difficult for me, but being able to hit a low draw, that bottom right of the 3x3 grid, I've always found difficult. That's a very important part of this drill. I like to hit that shot well a few times just to get comfortable over it, because I can't get too steep with that shot. If you want to hit a low draw or a low hook, being steep in transition is not the way you're going to do it. You have to be a little bit more shallow. So I just close my stance down a little bit, maybe strengthen up the grip, and then feel a little bit more shallow. And that's how I'm able to work that bottom right of the 3x3 grid shot shape. For me, those middle 3 blocks of the grid are always the easiest. I have a standard ball position. I have a standard ball flight. My go-to ball flight with irons is generally a mid-fade, maybe a lower to mid-height fade. That's just what comes naturally to me. I can straighten it out pretty well. I can hit a little baby draw with it as well. But it's always nice to rehearse these things just so I can get a little bit more comfortable, especially switching from fade to straight to draw. Having the ability to go from one swing hitting a fade, then to the very next, switching your mechanics to hitting a draw is important. I know that sometimes on the range, I'll hit 20 straight fades, take some time off, and then I'll hit 20 straight draws, but you kind of get into a rhythm, and that rhythm isn't realistic to what you do on the golf course, so having a way to switch it up is very valuable. Just for context here, I am using a 7-iron, and that is just a very standard golf club. You know, it's a standard length. It's that mid-iron that everyone turns to. The reason that I use it is because it's a club that I strike consistently well. If I go down to a 4-iron, it's just not a club that I can flush as often as a 7-iron. And on the contrary, I can't really use like a 52 degree or a pitching wedge because I don't really shape those shots very well. If I want to hit a low fade, I'm not going to hit a low fade with a wedge. It's usually a 7-iron or lower. It's not very easy to shape wedges. So the 7-iron is what I go with. If you want to play around with different irons, you can. Just know that the 7 is a good good place to start, and then you can adjust from there. Now for the high ball fights, I really don't change a lot here other than the ball position just a little bit. Maybe I get a little bit less on top of the ball. Earlier when I was talking about hitting those lower shots, I feel my body covering the ball. I kind of feel a little bit of an opposite motion. I feel my right shoulder dip down just a little bit, almost like I would hitting upward with the driver. I can get away with that because I keep my weight on the front foot. Do not swing up with your irons, even if you're looking to get them high in the air. Don't swing up. There are other ways to do it. Just play around with ball positioning and maybe get don't take a massive divot like you're trying to with a knockdown wedge or something. But finding that in between is fairly attainable with some experimentation. For me, the high fade and high straight ball are fairly easy, but once again, feeling the release of a draw and getting that ball up high in the air, I've always found to be difficult. So that's an important one for me to work on. And after this session, I know that for this session, I was more focused on filming than actually practicing, but I did get a few really nice swing feels for that high draw that I was happy to take away. And in the next round that I played after this practice session, I actually turned that high fade from the fairway just because I was feeling confident with it. So I already saw some of the benefit from this practice session in my next round, which I hope that a lot of you guys can translate into the next round of golf you play after trying out this drill. Now, I've been getting a lot of comments about the belts that I've been wearing in these videos. I am partnered with Ghost Golf. If you want a Ghost Golf belt, in my opinion, they are not only the most stylish, but they are the most comfortable belt in all of golf. I've worn them long before they partnered with me. And if you want to get a Ghost Golf belt or multiple golf belt, towels, hats, whatever you need, use code George17 and you'll get 17% off. It's the top link in the description to shop. I hope you learned something, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this drill. If you try it out on the range, please let me know how it goes. Let me know where your strength was, what you learned, what you took out of it. I love hearing feedback from all of you. Thank you all very much for watching. Play well, and take care.